Are you still using the default settings or haven't paid any attention to your settings for a long time? Then it's time to fix this. Today, I'll show you how you can optimize your user interface, go through the most important control settings, and we'll finish off with some other settings you should understand and utilize. Let's start the video. So let's have a look at the one that most people forget about, and that's the user interface. So hop into your settings, then glide over to interface and hit customize. Here we're unlocking these secrets to pimping out your screen setup. And trust me, you want to pay attention to the following 3 options to optimize your setup. First up, let's talk about the MVP of our battlefield awareness, the minimap. Default transparency is set way too high. Crank the transparency down to 50% and voila, now you can spot Layla sneaking around it like a ninja. Another thing you can do is enlarge the minimap, which makes it a mega map. This can be useful if you notice you don't check the minimap often enough. This is the normal size of the minimap, but by enlarging it, it gets to this size, which makes it more appealing. So you can keep track of the movements on the map a lot easier. Just try out which size fits you best. I'll set it on 130% for now. You can also adjust the position, but please make sure you still see the complete minimap. The second thing you want to adjust is the size of your active item, which you get after buying the Wine of Nature of the Winter Truncheon. Default size, it's like playing darts blindfolded. Bump it up to 150% and suddenly activate it becomes a breeze. Adjusted transparency too. We're not letting anything hide behind it. And hey, the same goes for skills and battle spells. I like my battle spells standing out, so I'm making it 120%. By the way, if you mess things up, no worries. Hit that reset button and you start fresh. Oh, speaking of fresh, did you notice those Karinas? They're not just hanging out for fun. It's a game-changing setting. Let's move on to the control settings to supercharge your targeting skills and a lot more. Firstly, I want to mention that you can adjust all those settings on an overall level, but also hero specific by using this button. And this actually is very helpful on certain heroes, but we'll go over that a bit later on. Remember those avatars we talked about in the user interface section? Well, they're summoned by the mighty hero Lockman. Activating this setting and you'll see avatars of nearby enemies. A simple tap on the avatar and voila, your hero sets its sights on that specific hero. Say goodbye to accidentally targeting the tank when you meant to go for the marksman. With this setting, you're the captain of your targeting ship. Speaking of targeting, let's talk about another essential setting, the free targeting. By default, it gives you one basic attack button, but why settle for basic when you go advanced? Slip the switch to advanced and boom, 2 more buttons appear. The lower one focuses your basic attack on minions, perfect for gold farming. The upper button shifts your hero's attention to the turret, a lifesaver when you need to damage the turret instead of the enemy hero standing nearby. It's all about precision and control, my friends. Now scroll a bit further and you find the targeting priority. This is where individual hero settings come into play. You've got 3 options: lowest HP percent, lowest HP, and closest target. Let's break it down. In our test scenario, we've got Layla, a squishy marksman at 90% health, and Zilong, a more tanky hero with 50% health. The default setting of target priority is lowest HP percent, and this will target Zilong. Not ideal, right? You want to go for the lowest HP option, ignoring percentages and aiming straight for the easiest kill, Layla. So should you always pick this option? No. There are situations that other target priority options fit better. So one of them is Estes, and this is purely because of his healing skill, which also makes use of this setting when not aiming it to a certain ally. So in a situation you want to heal your ally, it doesn't care what his current HP is, but you want to know what his percentage is, because the lower the percentage, the more you can heal. Therefore skip the lowest HP option for Estes and go for the percentage one. Now for melee heroes like Zilong, Argus or Masha, close target might be your go-to. When you're in the thick of the action, chasing down the closest foe makes sense, because you need to be close to deal damage. Plus, with the avatars of the previous option toggled on, you can always pick a specific target anyway when necessary. Just try out which works best for your favorite heroes. To make sure aiming is as easy as it gets. If we scroll down in the control settings, we find camera sensitivity, which is a very important one. So if you didn't know yet, you can use this section of your screen to swipe and move your camera through the map. This is really useful to quickly find out what's happening at other parts of the map. The problem is that by default, this setting has quite a low sensitivity. You can't go much further than this. Therefore, I highly suggest you crank that sensitivity up to the max to easily move your vision through the map. If you don't use this feature yet, try it out in your next match and tag me later for the game-changing intro. Now, let's shift our focus on the sound section. And why is this crucial, you ask? Because it's the key to staying alive. To get the best experience, you want to hear these sound effects as well as possible. So this should be on max at all times. Meanwhile, you want to get the music off, since you need to focus on those sound effects. The benefit of turning the music off and sound effects on max is that you can hear the skills of certain enemy heroes, so you can dodge them whenever necessary. The best way to demonstrate this is with Kufra. First we have a clip with music and Kufra is charging his first skill. Now let's test it without music on. Do you hear this difference? That's why you preferably want to play this game with your sound on when your surroundings allow it. This easy trick might save your life. So if you can hit that like button as a token of gratitude, I myself am thankful to you. So these were the most important settings you need to have right. But we'll go over some extra ones that further optimizes your gameplay and brings it to the highest level possible. First up, the outline setting, a small black line around heroes. Trust me, flick that switch to on for better visibility. It's like giving your hero a stylish edge on the battlefield. Now meet your best friend, camera height. Always keep it on high. Why? Because it gives you a broader view of the map, helping you spot enemies in the distance. It's like having a bird's eye view, and who wouldn't want that advantage? Moving on, we've got creep HP. Activate this and you'll see the health of the creeps. It's your personal retribution guide, letting you know when it's time to unleash that finishing blow. It's a small detail that can make a big difference. Now let's talk about graphics. Go for high frame rate and crank up those graphic settings. But, and it's a big but, if you're rocking a low tier phone, be mindful of potential lag. You want your game to look sharp, but not at the cost of smooth gameplay. Back to the control section, always toggle on aim panning. This gem gives you extra vision when casting long range spells, like Layla's ultimate. More vision equals better aiming. Assisted aiming methods should be turned on as well, since it helps with aiming your skills and becoming more like a Robin Hood. Scroll down a bit more and we found auto upgrade and auto buy. Stop right there, turn these off. Why? Because in some situations you want to take control, upgrade different skills or buy specific items based on the match dynamics. No room for lazy gaming here. If you're a beginner, this might be a bit overwhelming, but trust me, getting used to manual upgrades and purchases is a skill worth mastering. Don't be that player relying purely on the auto features. So there you have it, the final touch to your perfect settings. Share your secret settings if you've got any, and let's learn from each other. While having your settings right are the basics, it won't turn your gameplay to a complete other level. But something what does is this video, about 7 tips to really make your gameplay more effective through all your matches. Check it out and you'll become an even better player.